Hey, I'm Mike Becquerel, and today we're going to take a look at a Jimmy Wyble 2/5 line that uses some really great counterpoint. Let's take a look. This line comes from Jimmy Wyble's Etude number 1, and this kind of goes to show that when you're looking at his stuff and you're learning his etudes, a lot of the lines in there are just outlining 2/5 progressions or just outlining a chord change of some sort. Even though they might seem a little weird to our ears sometimes, they are usable things that we can grab and apply to our regular playing over standards or whatever. So always take that extra step to kind of see, like, what is he doing here? When we look at counterpoint ideas like this, the first thing to kind of consider is we have to sustain certain notes while we play other notes. And so we want to definitely be aware of that while we're going through this line, that we're going to use specific fingers so we can hold a note while we move other notes below it. So we start with an A on the 5th fret of the 6th string and a C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And we're going to hold that C out for a little while. We're going to go from the A on the bottom to E with our pinky on the 7th fret of the 5th string. And then we're going to go down to E flat. And then we're going to grab a G on the 5th fret of the 4th string. So here's our first part. So we can see right here, we've played an A, E flat, G, and C. We have an A minor 7 flat 5, so we're outlining a minor 2/5. And then we're going to play together while we sustain this G, play E flat with our first finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, and C with our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. Then we're going to play G again. So there's our A minor 7 flat 5 portion. And from here, we're gonna grab D with our pinky on the 7th fret of the 3rd string and F sharp with our first finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And you see this kind of outlines a D. This is a D triad. This is the F sharp's the 3rd and it's our root. We're gonna sustain that D, and then we're gonna play E flat on the 6th fret and D on the 5th fret of the 5th string. And then we're gonna come back, while holding that D, we're gonna play F sharp with our first finger on the 4th fret here, and then C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And now we have a full D7. And then we play a D again, and then we're going to play with our first finger A flat, which would be our flat 5th, while trying to sustain that C on top. And then we're going to move down a half step to G and B. So we're landing on a G major. Here's our full line. So it's an A minor 7 flat 5, a D7 flat 9 with a flat 5th, landing on a G major 7. Now we could also just make this land a G minor 7 by just moving down to G and B flat rather than G and B. I'm grabbing my first and second finger here. Now rhythmically, you may have noticed we're in 3/4. We only have 3 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And that's because Jimmy Wyble's Etude number 1 is in 3/4 for the most part. We can mess around with this a little bit and move it into 4/4. So first thing we could do is we can make it a quick 2/5 by changing everything to triplets. So everything only lasts 4 beats. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Now that would fit a 1 measure 2/5. Or we could add some notes. We could add 2 notes over each chord change and make it last for 4 beats. So all I do is I play the line exactly as is, and then I played an F and an E flat on top, and then play the line as is. I get to A flat, I play a B flat, A flat, and then land. So now I have 4 full beats worth of stuff. This line's a lot of fun to play around with, and I recommend when you learn something, a line like this from me or from Jimmy's Etudes or from anyone else really, any sort of chordal thing, I think it's very important that you try to take some time to make your own variations of it and see what you can do with it and make sense of it all, because that's how this stuff really gets into our own playing, is if we take something and then make it our own somehow, and that's the only way it becomes a part of us, I think. So thanks for checking out today's lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.